Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're doing good because we've got a pretty interesting patch to unpack for Where Winds Meet, and it might quietly fix more of your everyday annoyances than you'd expect from something that looks so small on the download screen. Update 1.008 just landed, and even though the file size isn't huge, there's a surprising amount going on under the hood, especially if you're on console or running a beefy PC setup. So let's walk through what actually changed, what it means for your experience, and whether this is one of those whatever, I'll update later things or a yeah, do it right now situation. First up, the big theme of this patch is stability and polish, with a special focus on sound. If you've been playing and thinking, why does this gorgeous world sometimes feel strangely quiet or offbeat? This is exactly what the team is trying to tackle. A bunch of cutscenes had the wrong voice lines playing, or the voices didn't line up with the animations, or the music just decided to nope out. Key story bits like the Jianghu journey scenes and the reforging coins cutscene have had their audio corrected so the tone actually matches what's happening on screen. That might sound small, but if you care about story, immersion, or just not being pulled out of the moment, it's a pretty big deal. On top of that, there were those annoying audio-visual sync problems, where mouths moved but voices were slightly early or late, or the scene just felt like a badly dubbed movie. This patch goes in and cleans up a bunch of those issues. It makes the world feel more deliberate, like the scene was actually crafted and not just loosely taped together. If you're the kind of player who watches every cutscene instead of skipping, you're going to notice the difference. Console players, especially on PS5, get some special love here. There was that infamous sound problem where things could go completely silent or just behave in really weird ways. The fix for that isn't just a single switch being flipped. The devs are rolling out a combination of client and back-end tweaks to stabilize audio for everyone, and this patch is a big step in that process. Combine that with some very specific PS5 bugs being addressed, and you've got a platform that should feel less cursed than it did at launch. The microphone issue, where your mic wouldn't behave the way it was supposed to, has been addressed, and there's a fix for the quick on the uptake trophy not unlocking correctly. If you're a trophy hunter who did everything right and still didn't see that pop, this patch is made for you. There are also a bunch of those little why is this like this annoyances being cleaned up. The healer's chest that didn't appear properly in the wardrobe, that's been made visible so your fashion choices actually reflect the gear you've collected. Some anecdote quests had NPCs vanishing or not behaving correctly, which could completely stall your progress for no good reason. Those have been fixed so those side stories can actually be completed instead of turning into bugged out mysteries. The Lumina guide tasks in Kaifeng, which were acting up for some people, have also been corrected, so your guide feels more like a helper and less like a prank. Visually, there are a couple of small but welcome touches too. The Verdant Feather's shoes had clipping issues and didn't quite look right with certain outfits. That's been adjusted, which is especially nice if you care about screenshots or just like your character looking sharp. A weird, abnormal sound effect tied to the lift has been sorted out as well, so you don't get that odd, jarring moment every time you use it. These are small things, sure, but they add up when you're playing for hours. Combat clarity gets a little boost as well. The text related to Acupoint Strike has been made larger and given a floating effect, so you can actually read what's going on while everything is exploding around you. It's one of those usability tweaks that you immediately appreciate in the middle of a big fight. And if you like quirky touches, the game now uses a goose symbol as a sort of combat capability indicator, which is such a strangely charming choice that it almost instantly gives the game more personality. For players who are deep into progression, the Season Shop has a new item, the Mystic Skills Breakthrough Support Box. That's aimed at helping you push your skills forward a bit more efficiently. It's not some enormous new game mode, but if you're trying to optimize or you've been stuck on certain breakthroughs, this kind of addition can smooth out the grind. PC players with high-end hardware also get a really meaningful upgrade. The patch adds support for DLSS 4 multi-frame generation for RTX 50 series GPUs. What that means in plain language is, if you're running on that new generation of cards, you can push higher frame rates at good resolutions while keeping the game looking clean and fluid. Where Winds Meet is a visually dense game with a lot of detail in the world, and frame generation can be the difference between this looks great but feels a bit heavy, and okay, this finally feels incredibly smooth. So if your rig fits that profile, definitely hop into the settings and experiment with the new options. On the system and progression side, the exploration manual has had its completion requirements adjusted, which should make it feel less picky and more fair. There's nothing more frustrating than thinking you've done everything a system asked for and still seeing that last bit uncompleted. So tightening that up is a win for anyone trying to 100% things. What's interesting with this update is that it also hints at the road ahead. While this patch focuses mainly on polishing things we already interact with every session, the devs have already talked about a bigger wave of changes coming soon. Cleaner UI, better subtitle behavior, less messy text on screen, and improvements to things like the Kaifeng tour map and healer interface. Add to that plans for refining latency and solo play, and you can see the pattern.